Dodgers taking on Colin Ray and the Cubs on a Saturday night. It's baseball night in America. Chicago and LA coming up on Fox.
Tired of rising
Just about ready to rock here at Dodger Stadium. 62 degrees, and there has been a rare tarp sighting at Dodger Stadium. Rolled it out a couple hours ago with rain in the forecast, but not until later tonight, so knock on wood, should be okay. We take a look at tonight's home run odds, available now at FanDuel. Max Muncy leading the Dodgers with 8 of them this season. Seiya Suzuki's hit 3 in his last 4 games, and Michael Busch, his first 2 of the year, coming this week as well. This red-hot Cubs lineup, better than 7 runs per game during the winning streak. And the lineup sponsored by Papa John's will look like this. It is Nico Hoerner to lead things off. Busch bats second. Alex Bregman tied the game with a home run last night in the 8th inning. Ian Happ rides a 16-game on base streak into this one with Suzuki and Ballesteros sitting 5 and 6. Dansby Swanson, the hero for the 2nd consecutive game yesterday. Pete Crow Armstrong in center field, and Miguel Amaya does the catching against Roki Sasaki, who we saw star as the closer as a rookie in the postseason last year. He's starting again this year. He's got a +6 ERA through his first 4 starts.
Well, he's got that fastball, split, and slider. We're going to be talking a lot about, I think, the progression of Roki Sasaki and why he's going to be so important to the future of the Los Angeles Dodgers. But it all starts and stops with his fastball command.
Hoerner to lead things off for the Cubs after the 6-4 win last night for Chicago. Looking for their 11th in a row, and off we go with that fastball. It's a 97 and a strike over the inside corner to Hoerner, who for years has done so many things so well, somewhat quietly at times, bigger names in the lineup, but getting validated with a big-time contract at the start of the season. 6 years, $140 million. Combines the defense with the bat-to-ball ability, the base running. We already got a pitch count malfunction for the 2nd night in a row. And he's added some pop to the equation this year, too. Already 4 home runs, something he didn't get until July last year.
Yeah, he's done a nice job. Everyone knows he's got a glove first, bat second, but that's not what he wants to be known for. Bat has picked it up this year for the Chicago Cubs.
0-1 from Sasaki. There's a splitter downstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike.
So far on the year, Hoerner really doing a great job against the off-speed breaking ball pitches. Hitting over 460 early on those pitches, so it means he's staying on, looking to go to center, right center, and not trying to pull everything.
Pokes a base hit the other way. There you go. Doesn't pull that. Shoots it into right center field, and a leadoff single for Nico Hoerner.
Well, and when you're going to hit 300 in this league, especially with the pitchers in baseball, you've got to be able to stay back and go the other way. And that's head down, barrel down to the ball. It's not a bad fastball location-wise, but he just does a better job getting to that ball and shoving it to right field.
Leadoff man on for the Cubs. Up comes Michael Busch, who had a terrible start to this season. He went through an 0 for 30 stretch, and this is a guy who hit more than 30 home runs last year, was one of the best first basemen in baseball. Last few days, though, he started to figure it out. Homered in back-to-back games on the homestand, and then had 2 hits yesterday. One-time Dodger, first-round pick of the Dodgers, made his debut here in Los Angeles, but with Freddie Freeman at first base, was blocked. Dodgers traded him to Chicago a few years back. Sasaki's 1-1. Popped up. Left side of the diamond for Max Muncy. And there's the first out.
I think if the Cubs are going to have that breakout season this year offensively, a lot's going to be on the shoulders of Alex Bregman. And they made a big push to get him. They signed him. His influence throughout the club is going to be felt. And looks like he's getting a little bit closer to being on track offensively.
Yeah, tied the game with a home run in the 8th inning yesterday. It was his first home run since March. First one from Sasaki. He takes a little bit outside, ball one. And yeah, Craig Counsell was telling us, even when he says he's searching and he feels like he's off, it never feels like he's that far from being a great hitter.
No, he doesn't swing and miss much, especially low. Last 19, 20 pitches down, he has not swung and missed yet.
As patient as they come. So all those years in Houston. 2 championships in his 9 seasons with the Astros. Last year with the Red Sox. And then that 5-year contract. 1 ball, 1 strike, and Sasaki checks on Hoerner, who's got good speed. Ball gets away from Freeman, not far enough.
This game could be easily defined by a hitter. What part of the plate does he own? And by a pitcher, what part of the plate does he own? The one thing that Bregman does better than anybody is he takes away the middle to middle end part of the plate, and he owns it. When he's locked in, he doesn't miss those pitches. And he'll take the pitch away to 2 strikes. He's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. And he'll just tip his hat to a pitcher that he could paint away 3 times away versus trying to get him out inside. Make that mistake and he loses it.
The 1-2 from Sasaki is a fastball upstairs. They check down to first, no swing. And you mentioned the word influence when it comes to Bregman. It seems like wherever he is, yeah, we talk about how good he is offensively, but we also talk about how he affects everybody else in the lineup. Cubs are already praising him for what he's brought in terms of approach. Bounces this one down to third, and it should be 2. Muncy to Freeland, over to first, a double play. Scored his first inning for Roki Sasaki. Dodgers come to bat against Colin Ray when you come back. Rotation and has made 3 starts. The Cubs have won them all.
Does a nice job moving his fastballs around the zone. 6 different ways to get you out. And he's just got that sneaky 4-seam fastball that he'll throw to both sides of the plate, and then he'll mix in his 2-seam fastball. And he does a real good job with the slider, and then the split finger is where he'll get a lot of outs.
Faces Ohtani to start this one. Fires him in 0-1, and Ohtani pokes it to left field. Happ coming on, won't get there. And a leadoff hit for Ohtani to snap an 0 for 12. In his 3 years with the Dodgers, he had never gone 4 consecutive games without a hit, and that will sustain right here as he snaps that 0 for 12. Ray, just a run over 6 2/3 against the Phillies on Monday. 35 years of age out of Cascade, Iowa, and it seems like he just keeps on giving the Cubs whatever they ask for.
He does a really nice job, and there's that mix, right? He's got so many different ways to get you out. Strike throw.
First one to Freddie Freeman, poked foul. The Dodgers, losers of 5 of their last 7 games. 1 big offensive game in that time. They scored 12 runs on Monday in Colorado. Outside of that, under 3 per game. Which every team's going to go through it, but you look at the stars they have in this lineup, it's surprising when they do. Dave Roberts in his 11th season, and looking for his 4th ring this year. The 1-1 to Freeman. Swing and a miss, 1-2. For a lot of this season, because you look at the overall numbers for the Dodger offense, and they're top 5 in just about everything. But for a lot of this season, it's been the names you don't necessarily think of as the big hitters that have done it in the bottom half of the lineup. That's a strikeout, 1 gone in the first inning.
Well, what's crazy is both teams have not exactly hit well in the first inning. That'll change. The Cubs, one of the worst, 148 in their first inning. And the Dodgers lately have done their damage early, but then after the 4th inning, and they've slid in their slide. They haven't really scored much. But from the 7th inning on, that's when the Dodgers have done their magic on the year, hitting over 300.
Dodgers yesterday had a 4-0 lead early. Cubs 6 runs over the last 3 innings to win it. Max Muncy takes a strike as he slides up and hits 3rd today, the highest that he's hit in the order this year. Yeah, he's not been the issue lately. Doubled and scored yesterday. .433 his last 8 games.
You're going to see a different usage of the splitter and a different break to it between the two pitchers. And we'll talk more when Sasaki gets on the mound. But I think he could learn a lot from watching Colin Ray and where he throws his splitter off of what angle of the pitches that are get called for strikes. See, like that's a great example of a fastball that if he got a strike call on right there, he's going to come right back with a split finger fastball that it'd be hard to stay off of, because that height of that pitch is so important to a hitter to recognize where it was, and he could throw a split finger off of it.
Here comes to the 2-1. It's a curve. It's tapped along first and foul.
And part of the issues that Sasaki's trying to learn, first of all, bouncing back and forth between positions, starter, closer, reliever. Now it looks like leave him in the starting role. Let him learn how to navigate his pitching style, his mechanics, I would say inconsistencies into a consistency. And then the next thing you know, you've got a future starter for the Dodgers. It just keeps getting better and better and better.
2-2 on Max Muncy. Ohtani takes off. Ray delivers, and Muncy pops it back and out of play. I think unfairly there were comparisons made just lazily. Okay, here comes another pitcher to the Dodgers from Japan. Comparisons made between Roki Sasaki and Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Well, Yamamoto had signed a record contract, 25 years old. He had pitched in 170 games in Japan. Sasaki is on a minor league contract, had pitched in 60 games in Japan. Totally different stages of their career coming over here.
Yeah, and totally different expectations too. I mean, I think, yeah, I think that's the unfair part about what Sasaki's had to deal with, because you just assume, oh well, he's just going to dominate. He's on the Dodgers. And again, the mental toughness and the psychology of being moved around and having failure, maybe for the first time ever, is a tough thing to deal with. But as long as you know you're going to keep getting the ball, that is the key to me that we do not do as an organization in Major League Baseball. They just take him out, bring in the next guy.
Or put him in the bullpen. I know that you think that really stunts guys.
Yep, sure does. It pauses their development.
Ohtani, who has not been the stolen base threat that he was when he wasn't pitching a couple years ago. Hands on knees, not going here. Muncy smacks the ball in the air down the left field line, and that'll fade to the seats. So the other thing you could do, in talking about Sasaki, why not send him down to AAA? But the Dodgers don't really need to. The rest of the rotation has been awesome, and they'd prefer to have him learn on the job here.
And that would be the greatest thing they could do. No matter how much he doesn't have success in a longer period of time, the Dodgers are going to have success. That's the key.
8 pitch to Muncy. Ohtani runs again, and a ball that goes 5-4 to the backstop, and he's easily into second.
He had a huge jump, and this cutter just trying to get it quick to release it quick, and never got it to the glove.
Ohtani, after at 59 stolen bases 2 years ago, just his second this year. Marathon here from Muncy, the 9th pitch, and he takes ball 4.
When Ray doesn't get underneath that pitch, which was a perfect example of what happens when you get underneath a splitter, it just floats away. It's a non-competitive pitch. When he stays on top of that, doesn't drop that elbow, that pitch is very effective because it comes out looking like a fastball, and that one was easily recognizable.
So a chance here for Kyle Tucker, who Cubs fans know well from last season spent in Chicago. Signed that crazy big contract to come here to Los Angeles at $60 million a year, and is hitting just .237. Hasn't looked like himself yet. Grounds the first one foul. Been extra aggressive, normally very patient, doesn't strike out much, high on base percentage. Hadn't really had any of those things so far, and his struggles most profound here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, as a guy who covers the plate, long swing, gap to gap hitter, home run, inside's a hole right now, and he's going to have to close that up if the scouting report stays the same on him.
Now, Tucker said the pressure of coming to the new team, not the thing. He did that last year, went from Houston to Chicago. They made a big trade to get him, and he was the featured guy of the offense and was having an MVP first half before the injuries cropped up. Dave Roberts moving him down in the order this week. He had hit second over the first month of the season, but dropping him to fourth. Single for Ohtani and a walk for Muncy. First and second for the Dodgers here in the first inning. Ray to Tucker with a 1-2 after a look back at second. The Rays given up just one hit with a runner in scoring position so far this year. He throws, and Tucker grounds one up the middle. Horner dives to get there, shovels to second in time. And the first snapshot of this excellent Cubs defense, getting out number 2 here in the first.
Yeah, that's a base hit in a lot of teams, but Chicago believes part of their season is going to be defined by their defense and their pitching. And what a great play. So many great plays last night to even keep them in the game. And then they were able to come back and win it. So the confines of Wrigley Field and that infield, you've got to love being an infielder, and they could do it on the road as well.
Up to Teoscar Hernandez here. First and third, 2 away. First pitch breaks a little bit low. Nico Horner, this play last night was ridiculous.
It's being ready and thinking on your feet, right? He gets the ball, tosses it to the pitcher. Bare hand. There you go.
3-4-1. Routine. High pop fly into shallow left center field. Swanson backs out there and makes the catch. Dodgers strand a pair in the first. We're off to Nolan in Los Angeles, and no score after 1.
She's got.
Bring it back with High Speed, sponsored by AT&T. What is high speed about this? Mets have lost 13 of their last 15 games. The Phillies have lost 10 in a row. Both those teams down at the bottom of the National League standings. What is high speed is the Red Sox firing Alex Cora today. After a 17-1 win, yeah, off to a bad start, but a 17-1 win, and Alex Cora gets fired. Top of the second inning, it's Ian Happ to lead things off for the Cubs. Hiroki Sasaki comes home. Is in there with a strike. We bring in Ken Rosenthal. Kenny, what in the world?
Joe, this was an absolute shocker. Cora was in the second year of a 3-year, $21.75 million contract, so he's almost owed 2/3 of that. Also fired 5 of his coaches. Jason Varitek, the game planning coach, reassigned. Chad Tracy, the son of former Dodgers manager Jim Tracy, was their AAA manager. He is going to be their interim manager. Now, the Red Sox, this is a typical Red Sox move. They are known for scapegoating. But this one was shocking because of the contractual situation and because other managers seemingly are in more trouble. One of those managers is the Phillies' Rob Thompson. Phillies have lost 10 in a row. And keep in mind, guys, Dave Dombrowski, Phillies president of baseball operations, very close with Alex Cora from their time together with the Red Sox. I can't imagine Cora taking over the Phillies next week, but that's going to be speculated upon as we go along here.
Sasaki strikes out half for the first out of the second. And yeah, if I'm a team sitting there thinking about getting rid of my manager, if I'm the Phillies, if the Mets are thinking about getting rid of Carlos Mendoza, I'm doing it now, and I'm going and calling Alex Cora 5 minutes after that.
I'm just still trying to get over that news because, you know, I just don't understand it. There had to be more to than we understand and more than we know.
Strike on Suzuki as that pitch finds the bat.
You're talking about an organization which, again, we could argue and for years to come, and this is league-wide. This is not just Boston signing a lot of young players to big-time contracts to think that they know how the path's going to be, and if they don't develop and play well, then that's on the organization, and unfortunately the manager can't do anything about that.
Sasaki coming out firing here ahead of Suzuki 0-2. And I mean, Alex Cora signed that 3-year extension for good money for good reason. He is widely considered one of the best managers in baseball.
Yeah, this one's a head shaker right here.
Check swing, 1 ball, 2 strikes. On Suzuki, who injured his knee during the World Baseball Classic, so hardly had any action during spring training, missed the start of the season, didn't look great his first week plus coming back, but something's clicked for him this week. He's homered 3 times in his last 4 games. And a 1-2 from Sasaki. He takes it downstairs and the count evens.
Well, the splitter has got better action. They talked about making it some arrangements, some changes in the bullpen in his side session, and it looks like he's trying to throw it a little bit harder, and he's getting more consistent down action. That's going to be the key for him to have success.
Fastball turned on left center field, headed back and gone. Seiya Suzuki on 2 strikes gets off his A swing, and the Cubs strike first.
And see, this is what he needs to learn. Now, that pitch selection and the opportunity to go up, in my opinion, when you have a hitter chasing down and almost swinging and check swinging on pitches down, that pitch is going to look fat to a hitter who knows what to do with it. And right over the middle and top of the zone, there was no variance that put any pressure on the hitter. So if you got pressure down below the zone, you keep the pressure down below the zone. You got to go so far up to change the eye level, and that was not the pitch.
Cubs on the board first, and now Ballesteros fouls off his first pitch. So Suzuki with his 4th home run in his last 5 games, and in a 2-strike pitch he unloaded.
Yeah, you cannot make that mistake with 2 strikes, especially to a home run hitter, and he sat all over it like he knew it was coming.
Well, with Sasaki, and you've started to touch on it, but there's been a lot of talk around here about what is wrong with him, how to fix it. If you had him, continue telling us what you would do.
What I would do is work on a fastball placement, meaning where am I going to go 90% of the time my fastball? It would be down and away, over there, down just a little bit more, because his asset, besides 96 miles an hour, yes, it's a straight fastball, but his split finger becomes an asset. His slider becomes an asset. Right now, the hitters don't fear any of those pitches because they know his command of his fastball is not great. So if I can put him in a place where 80% of the time he's going to be on one side of the plate with a certain height, he's going to have success, and they'll get more chase. See, that's a non-competitive pitch, and now it popped out of his hand. When a splitter is good, it comes off the fastball height and it disappears down. When it's bad, it pops out. It kind of rolls, it floats. Not a good pitch.
2-2 to Ballesteros.
That was a good pitch. That's the action you want. And so he's just going to have to get reps. He's going to have to learn release point consistency. Right now he has inconsistent release point. There's the split grip. There's the great tumble action. It's a field pitch, and when it comes out properly on top, the hitter does not have a chance to see it very well. That one came out easily for a hitter to see. It pops out of his hands. And so mechanically, when you ask me what would I do, I would stress getting out down in front over that front leg so that he can finish down. Throwing the ball hard and just spinning it hard, anybody can do that. But locating it in an area is a talent.
So it's 2 things, right? It's the intention, where to throw it, and who you want to be. But then there's the mechanical component of being able to do that.
Correct. And that's what's missing in our game. We have the ability to throw it hard and throw it in a box. They're not matching too many pitchers with the ability to throw it hard and throw it in an area. Just take the plate in thirds and take the plate vertically in halves.
Ballesteros lines one to center field right at Pages. 2 out.
And I think the biggest thing about even that pitch, he got away with it, right? But look where this pitch is, top of the zone, straight. But again, his eyes were down the whole time in that at bat. His eyes lit up when that ball was up, and that's what'll happen to a good hitter.
So the Cubs in front 1-0, 2 gone in this second inning, and the hero of the last couple of days, Dansby Swanson. Swanson went into Thursday's game against the Phillies without a go-ahead RBI from the 9th inning on the last 5 years, so had not had one as a Cub. He's now done it back-to-back games. Did it on Thursday in extra innings to get a walk-off win against the Phils, and then had the game-winning home run in the 9th yesterday.
The other thing I'd like to see, if he's able to do it, is when a splitter goes top to bottom down, and your slider goes top to bottom down, they're kind of the same. I'd like to see the slider turn the corner away from a right-hander. And there's ways to do that with the grip and the way that you throw it. But if they're the same pitches, now the hitter can get lucky in the same off-speed area if he makes that mistake with a downward off-speed pitch.
Swanson bounces it down to third. Muncy's got it. And that'll do it for the Cubs in the second. But they get on the board first. Suzuki hammers a home run. 1-0 Chicago, middle 2. MLB Together is baseball's platform embodying the sport's commitment to philanthropic causes and mental wellness efforts by teams, players, and the league. To learn more, you can scan the QR code or visit MLBtogether.com. Dalton Rushing takes a first pitch strike from Colin Ray, and Rushing's one of those guys we're talking about down at the bottom of the order, the unsung guys that have paved the way for the Dodgers this year. Rushing went 204 as a rookie and had just 4 home runs that entire rookie season. Already has 7 this year in 31 at-bats.
Am I right by here? 6 off of relief pitchers, which is more impressive to me. For a young batter to have 7 home runs is impressive, but 6 off relief pitchers is a lot.
And 6 off breaking balls, which he couldn't hit at all last year. Fouls this one off and stays alive. And of course, on most teams, he would be the guy.
Yeah.
And Dave Roberts is telling us before the game, yeah, you want him to be confident. You love him to want to play more. But it's a pretty easy conversation when the reason that you're not playing every day is Will Smith.
Yeah. And he's built like a catcher. He's got some thunder thighs looking to hit. So we had the conversation about Sasaki. Imagine if somebody tried to change Ray into, you got to throw harder. You got to do that. Like, it would get away from the strengths that he has. He can paint on both sides. He uses a 4-seamer, 2-seamer, and his split is different than Sasaki's. But see, that's pitching right there. 0-2. Get the hitter thinking inside on a breaking ball so that you have the ability now to open up the plate. Pitchers don't open up the plate. They just stuff you to death. They just like come right after you, and they make more mistakes than they don't, and that's why they give up home runs.
And Ray is a guy who has had to learn to do that, right? He doesn't have the 99. He's, like you said, 7 different pitches. He's got 3 different fastballs. One of them holds its plane. One of them breaks to the left. One of them breaks to the right. They're now 35 years old, but as good as he's ever been. Strikes out Rushing. Splitter falls off of the table. No, 1 gone in the second inning. Rushing not the only unsung guy to step forward this year. Remember last year, Andy Pages so bad offensively in the postseason that he got benched. Well, this year, he's second in the National League, hitting .333. We've told you about Dalton Rushing, what he's done off of the bench. And it's not just the hitters. Justin Robleski, 4th in the National League with a 1.88 ERA. Pages takes inside ball 1.
Well, what Pages has done early on is controlled the strike zone. Any pitch that's in the strike zone, he's hammering it, and he's handling it. That speaks to his average. And cutting down that swing and miss is so huge for a player. I love seeing players make year-to-year changes. Now, we'll see how long it can last, but you make those year-to-year changes, you start feeling better about yourself. It's a game of adjustments. You know you weren't right last year offensively, and now you get off to a good start. There's nothing better than that.
And Pages still just 24 years old. 3rd season in the major leagues. Breaks this one foul, and it's 2-1. He's also played excellent center field defense. That was what he made his name with last postseason in Game 7 with the catch he made in the 9th inning. But during the regular season last year, this was a .270 hitter. Only Shohei Ohtani hit more home runs on the Dodgers than Pages did. So adjusting, but also rediscovering what he did for a lot of the regular year.
So now it was a good fastball that he just was late on away. Now if Ray wants to, he can break his curveball right off the outside part of that plate. See if he can expand the zone on a 2-2 count. But don't mess with going up after you've gotten a fastball fouled off down the right field line.
He did go up with a fastball. Pages smacked it to right center field. Suzuki back to catch it.
Might have got away with that one right there with 2 strikes. But pitching is about getting away with things too. And when you make your pitches, sometimes you give up hits. But more times than not, you can take the sting out of the bat by the location of your pitch.
Well, 2 of the first 3 reach for the Dodgers. Ray is now retired 4 in a row, and here's the 8-hitter, Ha-Seong Kim. Started the season in the minors, came up when Mookie Betts was placed on the injured list at the start of the month. And Kim's given him a nice jolt. 2 hits yesterday, stole a base, knocked in a run, scored a run, hitting .350.
See, I like seeing this because I know the metrics and the analytics will tell you it's not sustainable because he doesn't have the exit velocity. But he's got a .351 batting average. Shouldn't that matter, you know, at some point, to be able to put the ball in play and get your hits and let the big boys behind you bop you around the bases?
And the Dodgers would love to have some more of these young players make names for themselves. This is an older roster. That's been one of the great things about the start of the season with these unsung guys contributing. There he goes with 2 strikes, a nice easy swing and a base hit.
Probably 86 off the bat, and they'll go, it's another hit. He's putting the ball in play. So we got to get away from this love of exit velocity all the time. As you see, the breaking ball just pops out of his hand and does a nice job just not over swinging. That's how you hit with 2 strikes, and that's how you hit when you have his type of game planning. You know, he's not going to launch the ball and try to hit homers.
Inning kept alive for the 9-hitter Alex Freeland.
Did I get close to the exit velocity?
100.
Oh, there's a malfunction in the exit velocity.
In the brain or in the computer? Something malfunctioned. Dodgers still waiting on Tommy Edman, Kike Hernandez to come off of the injured list. So spring training, one of the underlying stories is who plays second base, and the battle was between Kim and this guy here in Freeland. And Freeland won the job coming out of camp. Like I said, Kim just came up because of the injury to Betts, and Dave Roberts, not wanting Alex Freeland to have to look over his shoulder, has made Kim just the shortstop, and Freeland's continued to play second base pretty much every day.
You know, Freeland, even though the average is not where he wants it, he doesn't chase a whole lot, so he's pretty disciplined. So if you've got the bottom of your lineup working the pitcher, even if they don't produce a high average, you turn it over to the top of the lineup, that when they get going, it's a pitcher's nightmare for the Dodgers, you know, anybody who faces the Dodgers.
Well, Tony waits on deck as Freeland waits on this 1-1 from Ray, and a fastball misses outside for ball 2.
Have you, I know you've done a lot more games than I have. Have you seen a pitcher do it yet?
Yeah, I saw the other day Tyler Glasnow did it. Got it right.
He did.
There's only been 13 successful challenges from pitchers all year.
Yeah.
Think you would have been able to contain yourself?
Oh, I would have contained myself. I would have really trusted our catchers, but there's just no way. I've checked too much video. I was right 100% of the time on the mound, and went back and checked the video and go, uh-oh. It's not a good angle. It's not. It should never even be allowed. Honestly, if I ran a team, I would tell my pitcher, you are never allowed to challenge a call.
And I think for the most part that has been the message. There's just been, 20 cases of guys unable to control themselves, where most teams are saying leave it to the catchers. They're the best at this. Even telling the lineups, leave it to the catchers. Let's leave as many challenges as we can for our pitcher-catcher combo.
There's already been some things that I would say should never happen. First pitch of the game should never be challenged ever.
Half of those are Ronald Acuna.
Ever.
Yeah.
There's no defining game-changing moment that a first pitch could be, and we've seen it every time. I think we're never going to see a pitch violation anymore because it's ingrained. We see it, so that human nature is just can't help themselves.
Kim's got a good lead over there. He runs 2-2. Freeland lines the ball to center field. PCA goes back and puts it away, and now PCA will come up. Los Angeles native, although some comments he made this offseason has him here in the booze as he comes back here to die. Well, one of the most exciting young players in baseball right here, Pete Crow Armstrong, leads off the Cubs third in a 1-0 game. Hiroki Sasaki comes home to him. And a foul and strike one. You could hear some boos lingering after he was introduced. He mentioned that he made a comment in an interview this offseason, said, "I love Chicago. The people are great. They aren't just baseball fans who go to the game like Dodger fans to take pictures." He said they're paying attention. They care. And some folks in LA heard that and have greeted him rudely as he's come back here. Signed a big extension before opening day, 6-year extension. He figured it was a matter of time. The sides had been talking for a year or two for a player that just keeps on getting better. Strikes out on 3 pitches here. And Sasaki, John, throwing an entirely different version of that splitter, 6 miles per hour faster than what we've always seen.
Yeah, and 7 out of 8 strikes now against the Cubs, which is key in the first pitch. And that splitter, what I talked about going down, that's the key. The fundamental mechanics of throwing that pitch, now it's more velocity, gives the hitter less time to react to it. And when we show you, we'll go back and show the Suzuki homer, we'll show you why he had him where he wanted him until he threw that fastball in the wrong location. So whatever mechanical changes he's made, that's been huge for the splitter.
This is the 9-hitter, number 9, Miguel Amaya. 1 ball and 1 strike. Normally the splitter hitters see ball out of hand. It's never in the strike zone. Looks like him throwing it a little bit harder is giving him a better chance to land it for a strike.
Exactly right. So you got to make that change mechanically with its grip and or arm speed that comes out of the glove. But the one thing that I can tell the casual fan sitting at home, anybody can throw a pitch right down the middle hard. Like, that's the easiest pitch for a pitcher to throw. Where mechanics and fundamentals come in to throw it on the outside part of the plate or the inside, you have to be very, very good and connected. Because you can't just grip it and rip it and have that location. You have to be precise, and that's timing. And so his timing is really good in the middle of the plate, but that's not good in the big leagues. So that has to change with his fastball. And you can throw it out 105 miles an hour. If you throw it right down the middle, you're going to get hit in this league.
2-2 on Amaya. Sasaki comes back downhill and hits him. Slider pops out of his hand. Rushing wants the dugout to take a look at something here.
He's listening to the sound that it went off the bat, but it went off his arm guard. So I don't think they're going to challenge that. See, he hears the sound. He thinks, oh, that's the knob, right? He can't see. He's trying to catch the ball at the same time. So he's just telling his team, hey, I heard it. And sounds like it hit the bat.
Something hard is the elbow guard, and the 9-hitter gets hit on a 2-strike pitch. Back to the top of Nico Hoerner. Started this game with a single. Takes in the dirt for ball 1. Amaya runs. Rushing's throw, not in time, and Amaya's in there safely.
I tell you, Rushing's might have got caught a little bit on the no way is he going, right? Ball's right in front of him, and the reaction is a little bit slow, and then he tries to gun him down at the last minute. Just gets in there.
Miguel Amaya has never attempted a steal in the major league, so you can understand his surprise there when Amaya took off with that ball not scooting too far away. He's into scoring position. Kind of love the way these Cubs play. Up and down the lineup. Guys with versatile offensive games. We talk about the defense, and they remain an aggressive base running team. A little bit low. Challenge from Rushing.
The catcher is challenging the pitch.
Automatic balls and strikes powered by T-Mobile's network. It was low.
The pitch is a ball.
So the Dodgers lose the first of their 2 challenges. Two and 0 on Hoerner with Amaya at second. 2-1. Hoerner, one of the best hitters in the league with runners in scoring position. He was #1 last year. He's good again this year. .360 the last 2 years in these situations. For a Cubs team that made it back to the playoffs last year, first time in 5 years, and then had a really nice offseason. Corner flies it to right. Routine for Kyle Tucker. 2 gone in the third. Amaya heads for third. Tucker's throw is cut off. Of course, brought in Bregman like we talked about, the extensions for Crow Armstrong and for Horner. Overhauled the bullpen. And you got a Central that it looks like you need to be good in. You needed to make those moves to keep up because every team in the division is above 500.
Yeah, it's crazy. Cincinnati had an unbelievable comeback against the Tigers in the 9th. Stay right there with the Cubs and their hot streak. Cincinnati, I think, 8-2 in their last 10.
Yeah, both those teams top of the division at 17-9. 2 out for Bush, who takes a strike. Bush, who popped out his first time, takes a ball. It's 1-1. Good stop by Rushing, the man at third. It's been a decade since the Cubs won it all in 2016. It looked like that may be the first of many with that core group, but all the turnovers since moved on from that core about 5 years ago. Bush part of the new era of Cubs baseball as they try to get back on top. And while everybody looks at the Dodgers as the behemoth that stands alone in the league, Cubs right there with as good argument as anybody to be the next best team and be the biggest threat to the Dodgers. On a 2-1, Bush rips a line drive to right to make it 2-0. Bush drives in Amaya. And the Cubs take advantage of Sasaki hitting the 9-hitter, plus the ball in the dirt. And 2-0 here in the third.
Well, again, you can get away with this on the first pitch for a strike, but you can't get away with a 2-strike when the hitter is more aware of what's going on. And that splitter just floated. And that was just the difference between getting a ground ball or swing and a miss and a base hit.
Inning continues. Bregman comes up, bounced into a double play his first time, looks at a strike. Sasaki's 0-1 is downstairs. Coneyman's up.
Yeah, right there. There's been not enough of those pitches for a hitter in the Cubs lineup to respect it. Because they know the ball's going to be up, they can think up in the zone. See how they freeze? Now he can put pressure on a slider away if he wants to go right off that pitch and keep the ball down and the pressure on Bregman. That's a perfect execution on the spot.
To finish off the inning, but the Cubs add on Michael Bush doing it against his old team. Top of the order, and Shohei Ohtani to lead off for the Dodgers.
Hi, Scott.
Shohei Ohtani starts the Dodger third and takes the ball from Colin Ray. Singled his first time, snapped an 0 for 12 in doing so. And Shohei's talked about wanting to win a Cy Young. It's the one thing he's not done, and so far so good in that pursuit. He's got a 0.38 ERA. Talking with Dave Roberts before the game, he said that pursuit, everything he's pouring into pitching, it's a fact that's going to take away from his hitting.
Yeah, try to explain to the casual fan what kind of attention and what kind of energy you have to spend just to play 162 games as a hitter. The batting practice, the details, the video, and all those. He's splitting time between 2 high pressure positions. And now we're getting a chance to see for the first time what is it going to be like for a full-time season of pitching and hitting.
Ahead of Ray, 3-1 starting this third. And he's got a walk. He's been on both times. Pitcher Profile is sponsored by Wendy's. He is a deserving spot of the top pitching performances in baseball so far this year. Jose Soriano of the Angels has a 0.24 and a 5-0 start. Mason Miller has not given up a run since early last August.
It's ridiculous. I mean, he is about as automatic as it comes right now. And San Diego on the heels early of the Dodgers. Actually, they're ahead of the Dodgers, right?
Yeah, just past yesterday. Dodgers losing 5 of their last 7, while the Padres have ripped off 15 of 18. Freeman, who struck out his first time he struck out in 2 weeks. Swings and misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. So you're talking about the biggest competitors to the Dodgers in the National League. Padres asserting themselves in that group. We're talking about the Cubs and their 10-game winning streak. How about Atlanta, with the best record in baseball, having won 9 of 10. Big old bounce over to first. Bush waits on it, and his only play is to Ray at first. And the scoring position goes Ohtani. What is more believable for you, the Braves' hot start or the Phillies/Mets cold starts?
Well, first of all, that cold start is kind of an aberration. They're too good to have those kind of stretches. They had some injuries for the Mets, and they still have some injuries. But I think the Braves, everything that could go wrong last year went wrong. And so if you just split that in half, somewhere between last year and this year is the real Braves. But I still think those other teams you mentioned are just too good, filled with too many players to have that be something other than a blip in the radar screen before it's all said and done.
The problem is Mets are already 9.5 back. Phillies are 10.5 back. And you talked about the Braves last year, everything going wrong. They started 0-7, were much better as the season went on, but they had dug themselves such a big hole they couldn't get out of it.
Yeah, they always say in the golf tournament you can't win it the first day, but you can lose it in the first day. And that's the same thing about the start of a season. You're not going to win it in the first part or the first quarter of the season, but you could put yourself in a place where you can't win it.
Ball and a strike on Muncy. Ripped to right center field and deep. Suzuki's going back and watching it fly over the wall. Tie game. Max Muncy with a home run, and it's 2-2.
Well, whatever he fixed with his eyes, it's showing up, and he's seeing it clearly.
Third in LA Dodger history, his 218th home run, his 9th this year, 2nd in the National League. Joined the Dodgers in 2018. 218 home runs later. Whoever would have seen that coming for the A's castoff?
Yeah, he's got a story to tell, I'm sure. Can you imagine the journey he's been on and just the roller coaster, the injuries, the ups and downs? This game, boy. If you can find ways to adjust, it won't eat you alive. But if you can't, it eats you alive. And it's a tough game to play for a long period of time.
Ball and a strike on Tucker. Tie ball game here in the 3rd. Dodgers snapped an 8-0 scoring run back yesterday for the Cubs.
Here's the pitch, center cut. And we've seen 2 home runs in this game, 2 of them down the middle.
Check swing foul. Count evens 2-2. For more on Muncy, here's Ken Rosenthal.
John, you mentioned Max Muncy and the eyeglasses. Well, he started wearing them last April 30th, and since then, he has been one of the top hitters in the game. Now, Muncy has 20/15 vision without the glasses, but he's left eye dominant. So the glasses make his eyes work better in tandem, and clearly it's working for him. As Muncy told me, half the battle in this sport is trying to trust who you are as a player. Anything that can help you mentally believe in yourself a little bit more, well, you have to do it.
And also, if there is something to the vision thing, if you can't see it, you can't hit it. Tucker pops it up. That's going to be a souvenir.
Yeah, you can see the timing of a hitter, and the ball looks like a beach ball when you can A, see it, and B, it's on a tee. And when you're going good, you do things like that. When you're going not so good, you pop it up or swing and miss.
Payoff again. Tucker takes strike 3 and challenges.
The batter is challenging the pitch.
Automatic balls and strikes is always powered by T-Mobile's network. Tucker is wrong. And the Dodgers are out of challenges.
Los Angeles is out of challenges.
See, again, time will tell on how managers are going to either pull back the reins and say, guys, a 1-0 pitch is not a game changer in an inning, and that was a challenge lost. This one, if there was a runner on third, 2 outs, maybe, right? So now they don't have any more challenges.
You don't think, even with it being the difference between a strikeout and a walk?
Not in a 2-2 game in the third inning, especially when you only have 1 left, right? Like that's the key.
Challenge fest going here. Now it's Amaya that's going to challenge Mike Estabrook. And he's right. So they get a strike on Teoscar Hernandez. Dodgers have actually been the least aggressive challenging team in baseball for the hitter's standpoint. They'll get an early one from Tucker right there.
So here's my point. When you only get 2, they are so valuable. We're treating them as like, let's be aggressive on it. They're so valuable in a game that has a matter of fractions, touching a seam of a ball. You've got to save them for the absolute most highest leverage situations. And that's where it starts in spring training, getting aggressive, getting guys to trust their eyes. Catchers have been pretty good. Hitters have been okay. But then you got to eliminate the selfish challenge. That's the one you've got to throw away and say, guys, look, this is too important to have 2. We need it later in the game.
I think it's been awesome so far. Just the fact that there's only 2 and the strategy that creates, it's not becoming a nuisance to the game. I feel like they've threaded the needle perfectly with the implementation.
Absolutely. And half of the ones that get overturned are like fragments of the ball touching the plate. It's not like they're missing them right down the middle, and the egregious ones.
There's so many where the umpire's got to be like, really? I got to be quote unquote wrong? Look at that.
There was a game I checked. I was watching last night. There was a game in Cincinnati that came back and won. That the pitch literally on a 0-1 was challenged by Detroit. They won. I couldn't even tell what tip of the ball it got. It went to 0-2. The hitter battled, got the hit, and then the Cincinnati ended up winning with a 2-run homer. But to me, I got to let this go as a hitter. Okay, yeah, I'm going to get a walk, but if I'm batting 300, do I challenge it? If I'm batting 220, maybe, and I think that's the difference of threading that needle and saying I got to refrain, especially when we're down to 1.
Hernandez on 3-2 takes upstairs for ball 4 and a 2-out walk. Second walk issued by Colin Ray.
Colin Ray in this inning particularly has been underneath more of the pitches than he wants to be, and when he's underneath, it's not as good of a pitch. It's the less quality that you want out of him, and when he's on top of the ball, he gets the angles and the pitches he wants for strikes.
Well, brace yourself, folks, for the big one. Tomorrow, the NASCAR Cup Series takes on the biggest, fastest, meanest track on the circuit. It's Talladega, with pre-race coverage starting at 1:30 Eastern. Flag drops at 3, only on Fox. Colin Ray got to the big leagues when he was 25 years old, more than a decade ago, for the San Diego Padres, and pitched for 2 seasons for them. But over the next 7 years, a total of 2 starts in the major leagues. He had Tommy John surgery. Trying to come back from that, he tore his lat, stuck in the minors, considered retiring. Instead, he goes to Japan, earns another opportunity in the big leagues, where he caught Craig Counsell's attention in Milwaukee. And then when he was a free agent, over to the Cubs to continue his career, and he's been exactly what they wanted him to be. Now in his 2nd season as a staff saver both years. First pitch to Dalton Rushing, missed inside. And now the right-hander comes home with a 1-0 pitch. Rushing down the line, a foul ball. Rushing struck out his first time. One of the 3 for Ray. Who's 1-1 pitch. It's fouled off. Strike 2.
Very good early on in the year low ball hitter. A lot of damage on the ball down in the strike zone. So the only way to beat a good low ball hitter is you've got to throw that split over the low part of the plate or climb the ladder with your fastball and change that stroke that he feels comfortable down in the zone, extending the bat and the barrel for power.
The 1-2 drifts away. 2-2.
Tried to do it and got underneath it again. Right, putting pressure on the hitter right after the pitch to either swing and miss or foul off, and not letting him reset and see more pitches after he gets to 2 strikes.
Got him with a back foot breaking ball. Dodgers have tied it though. Max Muncy, his 9th home run of the season. A 2-run shot, and after 3 in Los Angeles, the Cubs and Dodgers tied up.
At Jersey.
Back here at Dodger Stadium with Cubs manager Craig Counsell. Craig, 10-game winning streak. What have you liked best about your team during this run?
I think just the contributions we've got from the whole roster. That's been the best part. When you win 10 in a row, you got to get it from a lot of people because you're counting on a lot of people. And we've got it like up and down the roster.
So many injuries in your bullpen. How equipped are you today once you remove Cal and Ray?
Yeah, I mean, we're in decent shape. I think it's like a normal day where you got some guys down, but you know, we've been going to just some different names and not traditional roles, and that's just how it's going to have to be for a while.
Craig, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Joe, back to you.
They're as good as they have been, which is on paper not good enough, but games aren't played on paper. And this bullpen, even with just about all their top guys out, has continued to lock down games for them during this 10-game winning streak. Ian Happ leading off the inning, and he swings and misses. He's down 0-2. Happ struck out on 3 pitches his first time. Finds himself in an 0-2 hole again. Here comes Sasaki. Got him. The devil in Ian Happ today.
Well, here he's starting the last 2 hitters to get that release point consistency, because in this first at bat, other than this little check swing, he had Suzuki thinking down. He should have got a swing and miss right here, but he held his swing, and another one down. Then he makes the mistake with a fastball up, and the one to Bregman is going to be the key for him to be successful. When he can stay down and throw his secondary pitches off of that height, he's going to be tough to hit. So whatever change he made, mindset and release point, the last 3 hitters has been really, really good, and he's thrown nothing but strikes and gotten 2 Ks out of those last 2 hitters.
0-1 to Suzuki. Inside edge, 0-2.
Now there's no reason, 0 reason to try to go up with anything. Just keep going down and get Suzuki to swing over the top of this split if you want. He just spiked it, wanted it too much, but that's okay. That pitch was a wasted non-competitive pitch, but at least it was down. You can still reset that. He's not reset the hitter with any other pitch location. Keep the ball down, get him to swing, because he's in swing mode.
See what he goes with on 1-2. Left it up. Suzuki pops it up. He got away with it. Splitter on a tee. 2 out instead of 2 home runs for Suzuki.
That one I wouldn't turn around either. I mean, look, everybody in the big leagues, when you're young and you're learning how to get to 2 strikes and then you learn how to get to 3 strikes quicker, we all had to learn. He's going to learn just fine. I know there's such a high expectation for this young man to just dominate right out of the gate. Give him time.
Ball on Ballesteros. Significant change today. We're talking about that splitter is a different pitch. Averaging 91 miles per hour. It's always averaged 85. Has rarely been in the strike zone. And he's thrown it now 33 times. That matches a career high. And we're only in the 4th inning.
Well, the only way you get swings there on a 1-0 count is to an aggressive hitter, right? Because it's not close enough. So now he's got to work something down in the zone on a 2-0 hitter's count to get him back into the strike zone.
There's 2-1 to Moises Ballesteros.
See, 98 is misleading because 98, it's almost forced 98 that's straight in the zone. It doesn't have that late hop yet. So he has to use that pitch right there to get hitters off of his fastball. It should be the other way around. He should be establishing his fastball to get hitters to swing at his split finger, and he's got to pitch backwards, and you see the 34 splitters is part of the game plan.
34 splitters and a different one at that. Looking for his first 1-2-3 inning into the game. It's 3-2 on Ballesteros, and a cue shot and another splitter. Sasaki still just 24 years old. A little more than a year in the major leagues. Over from Japan last year. Signed a minor league contract. Only 60 starts professionally in Japan. Fires another payoff. Last year started in the rotation. Made his debut against the Cubs in Tokyo. Talk about pressure. Not just making your big league debut, but doing it in your home country in the Tokyo Dome. Was shut down early with a shoulder issue, but reemerged out of the bullpen down the stretch. Ballesteros hooks a fly ball to right field. Tucker's going back onto the track at the wall. It's gone. Just got enough of it, and the Cubs are back in front. Second home run for the Cubs today, both coming with 2 strikes. Ballesteros is fourth.
Number 7, Dansby Swanson.
Talking to Craig Counsell, said he's starting to come into his own with his last 4 hits. Gap to gap, that slider just pops out of his hand, has no late bite.
Now Swanson pops it into right field. Tucker was deep, coming on, still coming. It's Freddie Freeman over the shoulder, making the catch. Ballesteros, though, goes deep and is now 20 for his last 37, putting Sasaki and the Dodgers behind again.
Aces. Welcome back to Dodger Stadium. Cubs leading 3-2. We're here with Dodgers manager Dave Roberts. Dave, Roki Sasaki so far, what are your impressions?
I'm impressed, Kenny. I think the last few starts he's gotten better, and today, you know, the split's thrown for a strike. He's getting the swing and miss that we want. The fastball's playing, and he's given up a couple homers, but solo homers. But you know, we're right there in it, and he's managing his pitch count. So I like what I see today.
It's the 4th inning. You've lost your challenges. What's your feeling on that? What's your philosophy on how they should be used?
You know, I think we've talked about it a lot as far as leverage, and today we just didn't have it. We just haven't done a good job of that. You know, rushing challenge, and I don't think that was a leverage spot. We lost it, and then tough challenge, again, not in the leverage spot. So right now, you know, we've got 6 innings to play with no challenges. So, you know, not an ideal spot, and typically we've been very good at it, but today we haven't.
Dave, thanks a lot. All right, Joe, back to you.
3-2 game. Andy Pages leading off this 4th for Dave Roberts' club. A 2-1 pitch from Colin Ray. Swings through it, 2-2.
So you got a totally different arm action by each pitcher. Over the top in a fastball that's going to stay on plane, and you got this short arm, kind of quick arm delivery that moves the ball around, and that's the variety that you could have on how to get. There's no one way to get hitters out all the time. Colin Ray is using all of his pitches.
Pages bounces one to Horner. 1 away in the 4th.
We just don't look for these guys anymore. We just don't. They just happen because they're filling a void. Everybody's looking for the 100-mile-an-hour fastball and the slider that falls off the table and the curveball split. Well, there's a problem with that. We've talked about it till you still got to be able to have pitchers healthy. And the Cubs, we were talking about, you know, can they keep this up? Well, if they don't get some of their relievers back, it's going to have a point that brings it back to reality, right? You can only do this for so long. And so the teams that can obviously stay healthier throughout the season and have the resources are going to do their 162 journey and punch the ticket to the playoffs.
Of course, the big one for the Cubs, Cade Horton, lost for the season, Tommy John surgery. And so that rotation pretty thin.
Yep.
0-2 on Kim. Kim, who singled his first time, takes very high. Got to figure the Cubs keep hitting this way, and assuming they stay where they are in the race, that they'll be aggressive at the deadline. Starting pitching being at this point an area that you'd figure they would address.
Yeah, absolutely. And the challenge for the Cubs has always been the start of the season weather in Chicago. They've caught some break. They've scored a ton of runs at home, which tells you the weather was decent, the wind's blowing out, because going on the road after playing a lot of those tough games messes with your lineup, messes with your hitters' timing, barreling balls into the wind that don't get hit out, and then you go on the road. So far so good. In the beginning of the season, they didn't have those games where you're looking at, oh my goodness, how just let's get out of here.
Yeah. Well, last year Wrigley played as one of the most pitcher-friendly parks in baseball. Wind was blowing in a bunch. This year, like you said, it's been blowing out more frequently. And Craig Counsell did say he feels like he has a group that's pretty good about handling that, pretty mature about not taking whatever Wrigley does to your head on the road with you.
I mean, that's the problem. Now, the Rockies haven't shown that they have put together a roster that can win, but that would be the problem in the past for the Rockies.
Kim is 2 for 2, and there's another BB into center field off his batch out.
Just stays on the ball and doesn't try to do too much. These are almost identical, I think, when you see the ability for him to have the barrel of the bat stay in the zone and just get to it, right? That's classic hitting right up the middle. Another hit.
So Kim's got half of their hit total in this game, and the more he does that, the more Mookie Betts can take his time hustling or hurrying back from that oblique injury, something you don't want to come back too fast from. So tying on a board with all Kim's speed, Alex Freeland, who hit it on the screws the first time, but caught in center field by Crow Armstrong. One ball, one strike. To the left field corner, Happ is back, still going. Ian Happ can't get it, and it's off the top of the wall. Kim's in to score on a double from Freeland that was inches from a homer, but the bottom of the order has tied the game for LA.
You don't see this very often. That's not a very big wall, so it doesn't take much to clear this wall. So he either got a glove on it and knocked it down, or it just flat out hit the top of that wall. It's going to be the shortest wall in all of baseball. He's trying to figure out where he's at, and it just hits off that wall. Wow.
That close to an out, that close to being out. Instead of double, and back at square one. Freeland at second for Ohtani. Takes a ball. Ohtani's reached both times in this game. He came in slumping, but he singled in the first inning, walked and scored in the third. The 1-0 from Ray. Ohtani takes in the dirt, gets away from Amaya. Freeland heads for third, throw down, not in time. He's safe.
Every call is going to be a tense call because they don't.
Out of challenges. If you happen to just tune in already. That aggressive base running forces the infield to come in here for Craig Counsell. If I'm an infielder, I'm saying, are you sure? You sure with this guy up? I got to get closer to him. On 2-0, Ohtani lays off ball 3. This is an area where Ohtani has been especially not himself. Runners in scoring position hitting well below 200 on the year. Extra aggressive so far in these situations. But here he's patiently drawn it to 3-0 and takes a 4-pitch walk. So they're at the corners for Freddie Freeman. And the bullpen is going for the Cubs. Javier Assad. And a visit here from Tommy Hotovy.
Part of this discussion should be you got Freddie Freeman, a very aggressive hitter. You've got a very fast runner at first. I would think a split finger, something off speed down in the zone to try to get a ground ball. Of course, that's what he's going to be telling him. Get the ground ball, double play, get out of the inning, and we'll be fine. But it's Freddie Freeman.
The Cubs defense has been so good, this close to making another big play. Not quite though.
No, he's got to decide if he's running full bore and going to capsize half his body on that short wall. And of course, he's got a different issue in Wrigley Field. Straight brick.
Which would you rather run into? Straight brick wall or get chopped off at the waist? Tie game, 4th inning. Dodgers looking for their first lead, and Freddie Freeman will give it to him with an opposite field base hit. Freeland's in to score, and it's 4-3 Dodgers.
Yeah, not sure I like that first pitch right there. I thought a split finger down. He threw the slider, and that's going to be it. It looks like.
4 straight base runners for the Dodgers here in the 4th. Starts with the bottom of the order. Kim and Freeland both hit. So Ohtani walks, and Freddie Freeman 1 pitch later has him in front.
Yeah, there's the slider right down the middle, and Freddie can do whatever he wants with that pitch. He went up there thinking about that hole being that big and not rolling over something.
Been practicing hitting balls over there his entire life, Freddie Freeman. Dodgers take the lead, and the Cubs will go to the bullpen.
The Dodgers have taken the lead and chase Colin Ray from this game. Cubs go to the bullpen in the 4th and get some length right here from Javier Assad, who's moved from the rotation into the pen. And they'll need it on a day like this. First and second for Muncy. His 2-run home run tied the game his last time up. 9th home run of the season, his 5th.
Last 9 games. Ohtani at second, Freeman at first. Muncy lays off 2-0, but a challenge coming here.
The catcher challenging the pitch.
ABS powered by T-Mobile's network.
The pitch is a ball.
No good this time. The Cubs are down to 1 challenge. Ball 3. Now Dave Roberts is telling us before the game today, just want to see some sustained rallies. I want to see some big innings from this team. And he's gotten that from them right here. Flurry of 4 consecutive base runners. Overall, again, the offensive number is good, but just not nearly consistent enough when you look at the names that they have. 4-pitch walk to load the bases. And now the Dodgers looking to get greedy. Already 2 in the bank. Bases loaded, 1 out, and Kyle Tucker coming up.
Well, you know Kyle Tucker would love to get going. And this is a big spot for him. 5 grand slams in his career. Signed a huge deal. High expectations, along with trying to win a 3rd championship in a row.
They're going to pinch run for Max Muncy. Santiago Espinal in his first season with the club hasn't played a whole lot. Espinal over there to pinch run. Interesting. This early in the game.
Makes you go.
Tucker, the 7th man to bat in this inning for LA. Assad trying to find the zone. He's missed with his first 5 pitches. Walk, single walk to load him up. And the 28-year-old from Mexico, Assad to Tucker. Ball 2. Well, Tucker's had a handful of big hits for the Dodgers, but overall 214 with men in scoring position.
Oh, he's got the perfect pitch right here. Perfect count, I should say. Ooh.
First strike Assad is thrown. And now Tucker back into aggressive mode. It takes it low, and he's ahead 3-1. Nowhere to put Kyle Tucker. Dodgers up 4-3. Bases juiced. Assad's 3-1. Swing and a miss. 3-2.
Well, the gutsy pitch right here will be a changeup, but he's been using that sinker trying to bury it in and tie up that long swing of Tucker. The one thing you want to do is whatever happens, you're trying to limit. You don't want that big blast.
Payoff. Tucker pops it up down the line. Bush is back with Horner. Horner is under it to make the catch. Ohtani tags and bluffs. And there are 2 gone in the 4th.
That was a really, really good job on his sinker, tying up that big swing. He got the swing and a miss. Great pitch, an in-between kind of swing for Tucker, and then he ties him up again. You see how he tries to pull his hands and get that barrel to the ball. Couldn't do it. Great job.
And some frustration spill out of Kyle Tucker there. The normally stoic Kyle Tucker. Unable to come through in this bases loaded situation. Now Teoscar Hernandez, who is 2 for his last 29. Pokes a base hit the other way to take advantage. Ohtani's in. Freeman's right behind him. Throw heads for 3rd. Nowhere close. Teoscar Hernandez delivers with 2 out, and the Dodgers lead 6-3.
Well, you couldn't tell he was struggling on that approach because he stayed really quiet and let the ball travel so that he could just inside out this sinker and do a great job getting that huge hole, playing the pull, and a huge hole over there between 1st and 2nd.
You know, the Dodgers had taken the lead, but that felt like a really big at-bat right there. You know, bases loaded, 1 out. Had they not gotten anything else in, felt like a missed opportunity for them. But they do cash in, and now Rushing hacks it foul. 4 for the Dodgers here in the 4th. Rushing happened to have Ray out of the game. He struck out both times against him. And this 0-1 from Assad. Takes a strike. Dodgers during this 2-5 stretch outside of the one huge game in Colorado have averaged under 3 runs per game. Already 6. Rushing fouls it off himself. Hernandez is moving. He'll head back. And Rushing in some pain, hopping to his feet. Will saying, I hope you're okay. Once I know you're okay, you better be okay because I get the day here. Ouch. Two on, 2 out. Another 0-2 pitch. Rushing. Shoots a base hit to left. And the Dodgers have 5 in the 4th. Espinal in to score on a 2-out base hit from Dalton Rushing. And here is that big inning Dave Roberts is calling for. Got a football score. Rams over the Bears 7-3. And Pages, who started this inning, is back up there again.
The dreaded 2 outs in an inning. He doesn't want that, does he? No.
Grounded out for the first out. Pages, who was hottest hitter on the planet for the first few weeks of the season, now 3 for his last 27. Ahead 2-0. Strike 1.
Just make it clap.
Well, the one thing these hitters never had to worry about today was shadows.
Yeah, it is overcast. Another bullet past the diving Horner into center field. And another run for the Dodgers. Hernandez in to score. RBI single Andy Pages. They've got 8. 6 of them coming here in the 4th. And he avoids the dreaded bookend outs of the inning. 22nd run knocked in to lead the team for Pages.
Well, just another one central cut, and this one almost got right back to the pitcher. He had to duck to get out of the way. And the Cubs are going to need some innings out of Assad, so they got to get that 3rd out and reboot.
Colin Ray, his shortest start since moving into the rotation. It's continued against Assad with a walk and 3 hits, and now it's Ha-Seong Kim who started this rally with a 2-strike base hit. Kim came into the game today 2 for 18 with 2 strikes. Both his hits today have come with 2 strikes on him. Nice easy line drive swings.
Right up the middle.
Tossed over to 3rd to appeal, saying that they thought Teoscar Hernandez missed the bag. And now Craig Counsell out there to argue.
I think they're going to challenge, right?
Chicago's challenging that the runner missed third base.
Ooh, that might be right.
The question is going to be whether the side of his foot hit the bag.
It's a good catch, though, by the video room to even flag that it's close. And so the crew chief, Alfonso Marquez, getting on the phone. Mike Estabrook, New York. All right, let's look.
New York's going to have maybe a different angle there, but impossible to tell from that angle.
After review, the call is confirmed. The runner did touch third base. The follower will lose their challenge.
I'm a little surprised it was confirmed. I thought it may stand, but either way, result is the same. Hernandez relieved, and to score, the inning continues. So Kim climbs in, first and second with 2 out. Kim, a .280 hitter with runners in the scoring position as a rookie. And this has been a nightmare of an inning for the Cubs. 10-game winning streak is on thin ice early in this game. 8-3. We're talking about those easy swings that Kim has had. Base hits up the middle both times up. He's ahead 3-0.
Well, when you look at his swing, it's pretty simple, and it's on 2 different pitches. This is a ball down, breaking ball that he goes right up the middle, and then this one is going to be on a fastball that is on the outer part of the plate that he just goes right up the middle. You don't see the wave too often at Dodger Stadium, do you?
Occasionally. Full count. Got a good one going. On the ground is second, Nico Hoerner, and that'll do it for the Dodgers in the fourth, but they get 6 runs, and they lead the Cubs 8-3 to move on to the fifth. Well, life changes quickly right there for Roki Sasaki with that 6-run inning. Finds himself pitching with an 8-3 lead. We showed you Santiago Espinal came in as a pinch runner for Max Muncy. He stays in and plays third. We've gotten word that Muncy's been under the weather, and so this was a planned move. 3 at-bats and then replaced. So Espinal's in at third. 8-3 the score here in the top of the fifth is Pete Crow Armstrong. Leads off for the Cubs. Strikeout victim his first time, one of the 4 for Sasaki. Grounds this one foul. This is the anniversary, the 50-year anniversary of one of the great moments right here. Rick Monday saving the American flag. Dodgers and Cubs here at Dodger Stadium. Rick was here with the Cubs before coming to the Dodgers. And it's just too perfect. 50 years later, it's the same matchup. The flag is here. Rick is here, his wife Barbara Lee, before the game. Check swing, but he went around. PCA strikes out to open the fifth, along with Josh Rowich of the Baseball Hall of Fame. Rick Monday is with us here in the booth. This is just too perfect, Mo. Great to have you here.
Well, this has been fun because the gentleman to my left, with Josh in Baseball Hall of Fame, we've been working on this for a while. It was a year ago that we sat down and really had dinner, and the plans that Josh outlined to us is that, look, we'd like to have the flag. So with his group of people, and it's going to be headed to Cooperstown after the 7th inning today. He's taking possession and going east.
And I understand you got to be obviously got to be careful with the flag, but the condition of it right now.
Well, it's one of those things, 50 years and still with the lighter fluid that was on the flag itself. And this gentleman and his group again, I mean, they're so fastidious about. They've taken photos, they've taken measurements, they've done everything else. So eventually, hopefully soon we're going to get it restored. But no greater honor for us to have been part of it and have it on display in Baseball Shrine, that being at Cooperstown.
Josh, what do we need to know about what we can look forward to with this in Cooperstown?
Well, honestly, there's no greater honor than for us as we're celebrating America 250 to have an artifact of that level that fans can come see. It really hasn't been available for the public to see. So starting Memorial Day weekend, when Rick will be out there playing in our military classic game, we're going to open up this exhibit and let fans come and take a look at this up close and personal.
One correction right off the top, Joe. That's watching the game.
I was going to say, wow, Mo making a comeback.
My story is, and I told Josh this a long time ago. My mantra now is that pain is optional, no longer mandatory.
You had enough of that through your days.
Exactly.
Adopted between your big league career, 6 years as a Marine. You mentioned that the flag hasn't been available for the last 50 years because it's been put to great use.
Well, Barbara Lee, my wife, is taking it across country, and at every state line there was a handoff ceremony, actually from our home in Vero Beach, Florida, to here at the Dodger Stadium a number of years ago. So it's time to bring it out. We've been so fortunate to take it to Walter Reed Army Medical Center, to some of the other veterans hospitals and installations, and it's about time that we present it and let the public see it.
That is a home run off of the bat of Amaya out of the 9 spot, productive today. Third home run that Sasaki's succumbed, and it's 8-4.
Joe, there's such great history in this game, and Josh can speak more eloquently about it. It's a great game for a lot of reasons, but it's the most well-documented sports that you can find to begin with.
Yeah, one of the things that's actually going to be opening the same weekend that we have this exhibit on Rick's flag is the oldest written rules of baseball coming to Cooperstown. Essentially, the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence of the game. Rules from the 1857 Knickerbocker Convention are being loaned to us by a gentleman in San Diego so that fans can come and see that up close. And as Rick noted, I mean, we're talking about 40,000 artifacts and 3 million documents, and we keep all of them in temperature and humidity, light-controlled environments because we want fans for hundreds of years to be able to come back and see them just the way they were in 1976 and 2026 and hopefully 2076.
Top of the Cubs order here in Nico Hoerner. Mo, what do you remember about that day 50 years ago?
The first thing is the video that was shown just a couple of moments ago. No one knew that existed until 1984. Wow. Oddly enough. I mean, we had the great call from Vin Scully on the radio side. But there was no television that day. WGN pulled the cameras off the field. Dodgers were not televising. And it was actually in '84 when I was having a discussion with some people about doing the Dodger cable games. A gentleman said, "I saw the video of you last night." I said, "We must mean you must mean the photo." The James Rourke, who was nominated for a Pulitzer Prize, by the way. He said, "No, my friend shot it himself on his own camera, and they bumped it over to video." And just this morning, I had an event, and a gentleman came up to me and goes, "You know the photo of the flag?" He goes, "Yes." He says, "You see those 4 guys sitting on the top railing in left center field?" He says, "Yes." He goes, "That's me with my arms folded over the railing." It was 4 high school buddies. I ran into that gentleman this morning.
Wow.
Small world, fellas.
2-2 to Hoerner is poked to right field. Tucker will not get there. And a base hit for Nico Hoerner, his second of the ballgame. What a special day for many reasons. And how about before the game, Mo, representatives from the Marine Corps presented you with this?
Well, it was a big surprise. I'm finding out that my wife Barbara Lee was aware of it. But when Lieutenant General Laster presented that to us, along with a letter from the Commandant of the Marine Corps.
Wow.
Very proud to have served in the Marine Corps. And I think that incident on that Sunday afternoon, I was merely a spokesman for many, many people that have served and for those that understand the rights and freedoms that we have in this country and enjoy them.
Michael Busch in an 8-4 game, runner at first, 1 away. Busch knocked in a run his last time. Downstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. I know you've said that you have thought hundreds of times since then. What was I thinking in that moment? So I know you tell us your memories of that day and not seeing the video until years later, but when you put yourself back in that moment, what's going through your head?
I did not like what was happening. Someone came into my office, that being center field, onto the field itself, interrupted the game. There's already been a couple of pitches thrown at the bottom of the 4th inning. And turned around and saw that these guys had something under the arm. I saw it was a flag. They spread it out, and I saw the reflection, this huge can of lighter fluid, began to douse it. And James Rourke, who was nominated for Pulitzer Prize, took that photo of me just as I was taking the flag away from them. But I was irritated. And I was only 5 years out of the Marine Corps at the time. Many of us that were privileged enough to play this great game of baseball served in the military. You know, I was in boot camp with Dave Duncan. We were in the same platoon, platoon 185, MCRD San Diego. Bob Watson was 1 row over.
Diving stop by Freddie Freeman, tags the bag, 2 out.
But in retrospect, again, I look at it as at that moment on that Sunday afternoon here at Dodger Stadium, regardless of a uniform that I happen to be wearing a baseball uniform, what those guys were trying to do was not right. What Freddie Freeman does sometimes with the glove, you think that ain't right.
That'll be you at the Classic game, Mo. We'll watch you dive around out there in Cooperstown.
Here's Bregman, runner at second, 2 away. And one of the reasons we know this is going to be a good little visit here, beyond trained as a broadcaster, 3+ decades in the Dodger booth. We know you're going to pause at the right times, add a little color where you need to. I mean, we could just, Smoltz could take the rest of the day, Mo, and
I feel
Josh.
bad that we booted the Hall of Famer out of here. I mean, that was not our intention, but we appreciate that he's here, and we'll be back next.
Well, I did the same thing with Steven Nelson in the radio booth. I told him, I said, see you later. We're going to go have dinner.
Right. Dodgers up 8-4. Ball and a strike on Bregman. Down the line, foul.
Smoltz should be at Hall of Fame weekend, actually, when we honor Rick at the end of July. A couple of former Dodgers, Jeff Kent, Andrew Jones getting inducted. But the day before that, when we celebrate Joe Buck's career, Paul Hoynes' career, the Buck O'Neill Award is being given to Bill White, and this guy over here to my right is going to be honored as well that day. And I think it's going to be a really special day for fans in Cooperstown, and just an amazing weekend for everybody in Cooperstown. It's heaven on earth. If you haven't been there before, you got to come check it out.
Can I make an admission? I haven't gone.
We got to work on that, buddy.
I know.
We got to work on that. It's on people's bucket lists, and I say all the time, get it off the bucket list, put it on to-do list, because the reality is bucket list you don't always get to, and we're excited. Rick's going to be out there twice this year to see it.
Down Spinall, routine play. Rick Monday, you're a legend, my friend.
We're going to go get Smoltz, bring him back. Nice to see you, Joe.
Great to have you guys in here.
Josh, get ready to get a flag here in a few minutes.
Dodgers doubling up the Cubs as we go to the last of the 5th inning. This is Alex Freeland to lead things off against Javier Assad. Freeland was part of the rally last inning with the double. Just missed getting it out for a home run. Hit the top of the wall and left. 1 ball, 1 strike. Welcome back, John.
It's good to be back. There's still a half inning there. Food room was nice. Had a hot dog.
Did you?
Yeah. Some popcorn. But I stayed away from the sweets.
10 days in a row of that. Yeah. I'm so impressed.
4 more to do, and then I'm smooth sailing.
Freeland sends a high drive to center field. PCA is back. It is off the wall. He had a weird angle at that. And Freeland will take advantage. Throwing on the brakes with a leadoff double. His second the last 2 innings. Crow Armstrong kind of got twisted around there. Couldn't recover.
He did. The wind is blowing out, blowing a little bit the ball away from him. When that ball was first hit, it looked like it was, well, I think Freeland thought it was gone, and then you just see the twist and then the angle at which he couldn't get back to that ball. Normally, he's got that in his back pocket.
Well, you figured it was a matter of time before Shohei Ohtani had a good offensive game, and he's reached all 3 times today. Singled, walked twice, and scored after both of those walks. 3 straight MVPs.
Will he add a Cy Young to those 3 straight MVPs? Well, the Dodgers, they do a good job of commanding the strike zone. Well, they have commanded the strike zone with some hits, and those are the innings. That inning is what delivered those 6 runs.
Two and 2, and no challenges left for the Dodgers.
Are we going to have somebody forget and just do it?
Like Chris Webber?
Well, yeah, I guess like that.
I don't think there's a penalty, though.
No, you're out. You're out of the game as soon as he's thrown out.
2-2 to Ohtani is fouled off. So they have in extra innings, if you were out of challenges, you get a new one. And with every extra inning, you get that tank refilled. Heard a lot of people talk about the 9th inning. Seems like it should have that. You get, one of the biggest spots of the game where the whole point of this thing is to get the biggest calls right. Seems like they should extend that extra innings rule of giving a team without a challenge into the 9th.
Well, and that would eliminate the strategy of it, though. I like the extra innings thing, but think about it. If you just get 2 reckless ones, then that should go on your record instead of just getting the bonus one in the 9th. Because, again, managers have talked about this. They're going to give the luxury of the first quarter, first half of the season to the players. And then if it gets egregious, they're going to go, guys, got to pull back the reins here now. You've lost your ability to challenge in the first 5 innings or whatever they put the reins on.
Freeman 1 for 3.
Heard people say, why don't we just go to it now if they get the calls right? Isn't that the goal? Well, be careful what you wish for in this sport, because the way pitching is and the fraction of the ball, the hitting statistics would be even worse than they are today if we went to an automatic strike zone, even though they lowered it.
I'm very against going full ABS. Infield is in. Runner at third, 1 out. Ball 2 on Freeman. Takes away the subtlety, right?
Yeah,
There's so much subtlety in baseball that's part of the sport's beauty. Besides 2-1, Freeman looks at ball 3.
I just like the pressure it puts on the catcher, the hitter. Obviously, the umpire's got the most pressure, and they get a majority of them right. But if that pressure was alleviated and that pressure was gone, then all of a sudden you've got this kind of stratomatic, robotic. It doesn't fit.
As it is right now, it's been additive. It's a whole other little layer of things. Yeah, you go overboard. I don't like it. Freeland, the man at third, as the 3-2 comes home to Freddie Freeman, and he takes strike 3. Two outs, and the first at bat today for Santiago Espinal. He was an all-star a few seasons back with the Toronto Blue Jays. Now in his first season with the Dodgers, sporadic playing time. In for Max Muncy. Yeah, like we mentioned, the plan was for Muncy to get 3 at-bats and then come out, and he made the most of those. He walked twice and hit a 2-run home run. Feeling under the weather. Hello. 1-1 on Espinal. Out of Santiago, Dominican Republic, originally a Red Sox farmhand, traded to the Blue Jays at the deadline for Steve Pearce in 2018. Of course, Pearce then helping the Red Sox go on to win it all that year. MVP of the World Series. Espinal got to the big leagues a couple years after that and was right here at Dodger Stadium. He played in the All-Star game in 22. Short time with the Reds. Now to LA.
Muncy took advantage of a center cut fastball and delivered it over the fence.
Leads the team with 9 of them this year. Only James Wood of the Nationals has more in the National League. Assad to Espinal with a 2-2 pitch. Just misses.
Everybody.
Espinal smacks one to center. Crow Armstrong tracks it down, slides in the gap, and ends the 5th. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, a grand slam for your budget. Shared history of these two teams, Dodgers and Cubs, that includes Sandy Koufax and his perfect game against the Cubs in the 1960s. 4 consecutive years we had a no-hitter and finish it off with that 1965 perfect game. Bob Henley on the other side was almost as good, gave up just 1 hit, but lost in history to Koufax's perfection.
Well, look at that time of game.
Hour 43. For the great left-hander. Ian Happ starts this 6th. Roki Sasaki has not quite been Koufax today, but he's been by far the best he's been this season. He's into the 6th inning for the first time this year, and just the 3rd time in his major league career.
And solo homers usually don't beat you. He's given up 3 of them, but his team has responded to give him a 4-run lead.
He has struck out Happ both times in this game, had him flailing and missing a bunch, and he's got 2 strikes on him here. 5 total Ks. And the bigger deal, no walks for Sasaki. Here's his 1-2. Count evens.
Well, he's done a nice job with that splitter, and the velocity has helped the hitter have less time to recognize it, and he's getting a lot more swings at it.
It was a strike around 40% in his career coming into today. It's above 60% today.
Yeah, and it's not a pitch that's going to be a high strike percentage. You want it to be a chase percentage. You want the fastball to do the strike work and then the split to do the chase work.
There is the first free pass.
So let's take a look at the splitter. And you talked about the improved velocity, but he was able to start this pitch and look more like a strike to the hitters. That would enable them to either take it for a perfect pitch, or really the key is swing and miss. Swing and miss is that's what the pitch is. It's not meant to throw for a strike for the most part. It's meant to look like a strike, end up as a ball, but get the swing.
Here's Suzuki, who takes a strike. One of the 3 home runs for the Cubs today. That is how Sasaki's given up most of his runs this year. Cubs trying to claw back into this game, down 4. And Suzuki down 0-2. They've been a comeback team during this winning streak. 10 in a row for the Cubs, 7 of those 10 via the comeback. Will Klein and Jack Dreyer both getting ready. Sasaki ready for his 98th pitch. It's already a season high. Matches a career high with those 98 pitches. Looking for what would be just his second win in the big leagues. He won early last May in Atlanta. Made one more start and then disappeared for the rest of the summer with that shoulder issue, going to AAA, trying to figure things out. Reappeared the last week of the regular season, even though he had kind of been forgotten at that point. Willing to pitch in relief. And who knows where the Dodgers would have been without him. Into center field. Pages won't get there. And back-to-back base runners to open the 6th for Chicago.
He got to 2 strikes on both hitters really quickly, lost the first one on a walk, and then that one off the end of the bat, just enough in the strike zone to get the bat on the ball. And I would think this would be his last hitter.
It's the left-handed batting Ballesteros, and he got the lefty Dreyer ready. Well, Saturday Night Baseball on Fox next week is showtime for Ohtani and the Dodgers again against Jordan Walker and the Cardinals. How about Jordan Walker finally fulfilling the potential? Cardinals off to a much better start than anybody anticipated from them. Rangers Tigers the other game on Fox, and that is going to do it for Roki Sasaki in his best start of the year. Pitches into the 6th inning for the first time. They rely on the bullpen to preserve a solid line.
100 years ago.
The book not closed with that traffic out there. Ballesteros will stay in there as the lefty Jack Dreyer comes on to face him.
Dreyer, he's tough on lefties. He closes off and throws across his body. There's the numbers on the year in 10 games.
Trying to bounce back from that first defeat. He gave up the game-winning home run to Patrick Bailey of the Giants the other day. And this is a rare lefty-lefty chance for Ballesteros. Just 1 for 4 against lefties this year. 2 on, nobody out. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cubs have raved about Ballesteros. Cubs fans have fallen in love with him quickly. Good impression last year, 20 games in his debut. Just 22 years of age. He's gone deep today. He's 20 for his last 37. Cubs fans have been calling for more of this, more lefty-lefty chances. Now there's a chance he's been so good because they've put him in good spots and limited these chances. The Craig Counsell letting him hit for himself here. Happ walk, Suzuki singled, 1st and 2nd. 1-2 pitch.
This is what the Cubs have been doing. They've been finding ways to win. And they found a way last night, down 4-0 in the 7th. A rare comeback when you're trailing by 4 against the Dodgers, especially here at Dodger Stadium.
Have to do one better today. They were down by 5, back to within 4. Ballesteros takes ball 2. Swanson on deck. This long Cubs lineup. It's proven to be too much for the opponent the last 2 weeks. Spoiled foul. 10 straight wins for the Cubs, their longest winning streak since the championship season a decade ago. Another 2-2 from Dreyer. Ballesteros fouls it again. "23 pitches in his 3 at-bats. Lined out to center field his first time, homered his second time. 8th pitch coming from Dreyer to Ballesteros. He's worked it full. Dreyer lost his footing. Says he's good. Dalton Rushing steps out in front of home to check on him. Ballesteros putting together the kind of at-bat that he did earlier this week against the Phillies. He was down 0-2 with the bases loaded in the tie game and wound up earning a walk. He's worked it full here. The payoff. Ballesteros takes ball 4 to load the bases, and the Cubs refuse to roll over. They've got the tying run coming up in the form of the day-after-day hero lately in Dansby Swanson.
Well, the first 3 hitters got 2 strikes on him, and all 3 reached. 2 of them via the hit, and that one just an incredible walk. You got to. It's the worst feeling in the world for a pitcher to lose his footing and then throw that next pitch and they trust it's going to be okay. But the Cubs got it rolling here in this inning.
Ball on Swanson. I mentioned it earlier. Swanson didn't have a game-winning RBI in the 9th inning or later in his first 3 years with the Cubs. He's done it the last 2 games. Walk-off hit on Thursday against Philly. Home run against Tanner Scott in the 9th inning yesterday. And Mike Estabrook letting Jack Dreyer know you've got to wait for Dansby Swanson to be ready before you are. Things seem to be speeding up a little bit on Dreyer here. Bases loaded, nobody out. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss.
Impressive what the Cubs have done. They're really good on the year, just under 200 with 2 strikes batting average. They've gotten 5 2-strike hits, and all 3 home runs were with 2 strikes. You don't see that very often.
Back-to-back breaking pitches, get swing and misses, and it's 1-2.
Based on the formula so far, they got them where they want them.
Right where they want them. Those runners at second and third, Sasaki's responsibility. Dryer's 1-2 pitch. Swanson lays off. That's where teams have gone to try and finish Swanson off. He's 3 for 28 this year on elevated pitches. Crow Armstrong on deck. On 2-2, Swanson checks. Ball 3.
Those are the Dodgers in the dugout saw that differently.
Dansby says and gets ready to see this payoff pitch. Swings and misses. Strike 3, 1 away. All 3 strikes in that at bat on sliders swinging.
That was a huge pitch. Again, 2 strikes down, and then maybe got a swing and a miss on a check swing, but then came back with a great tight slider down and in.
Pete Crow Armstrong 0 for 2 has struck out both times today. Swings and misses, and he's found it with that slider. It was right here at Dodger Stadium that he ignited his all-star season last year. Had not homered coming into a series here in mid-April. Hit his first 2 and finished with 31 of them. Swings and misses. He's down 0-2. Happ at third, Suzuki at second, Ballesteros at first. Jack Dreyer trying to wiggle off of the hook. His 0-2 to Pete Crow Armstrong. Taken downstairs. Crow Armstrong in his 4th year. 31 home runs, 35 stolen bases last year to add to his Gold Glove defense. And he just turned 24. On this 1-2 from Dreyer. He swings and misses, and back-to-back Ks from the Dodger lefty.
That is such a good tight slider. You can't see the spin. Sasaki liking it as well.
And that's going to do it for Jack Dreyer. Just those 3 hitters. The right-handed batting Miguel Amaya is due next. And boy, it did not look like this is going to be a clean outing for Dreyer, but it is.
This is baseball your way. With real-time stats, scores, breaking news, and
Will Klein is the new pitcher for the Dodgers. Miguel Amaya takes strike 1 from the World Series hero Will Klein, who had the 4 scoreless innings to win Game 3.
I just can't imagine what his offseason was like.
He got recognized for the first time. Overthrows this one. 1 ball, 1 strike. This guy out of the middle of nowhere. He had a 7 ERA early on last year. Got released by the Mariners. After his first year in the majors, handful of games, had an 11 ERA. Comes to the Dodgers and different dude. 1-1 to Amaya. Cracked foul, strike 2. The Cubs had the bases loaded, nobody out. Swanson at the plate, he strikes out. Crow Armstrong strikes out. And a massive opportunity to make this a game. Got just 1 strike with which to work now. Off the hands, back to Klein. Over to first, and somehow the Cubs come away empty-handed.
With schizophrenia.
Naoki Sasaki can thank the bullpen for preserving his line. Best start of the season for him. And in position to win this game. Kyle Tucker leads off the bottom of the 6th for the Dodgers. Sends a fly ball to left field that will peel away from Happ and bounce into the seats. A leadoff double, and Tucker joins the party. Every Dodger starter has a hit in this game.
You know that feels good, even though he's struggling at the plate. He's on a great team. He's going to get this bat going. Sometimes it's a little hit like this or off the end of the bat.
Ball on Teoscar Hernandez. But a big hit for the Dodgers in that 6-run 4th inning. Knocked in 2 with a single. Another one of the guys that'd like to get going. Key piece of the 2 championship teams. 2 years in LA, 2 rings for Teoscar Hernandez.
Streaky hitter when he gets on. He gets in a huge stretch with that power. And then he loses the strike zone a little bit. Gets in a little bit of a bad funk, but seems to manage it.
Gets his hands in, pulls another base hit into left field. Tucker up to 3rd. And Javier Assad having to wear it today with the early exit from Colin Ray. Dodgers have him cornered, nobody out. Gives us a chance to check in with Mike Hill for a game break.
Fellas, Padres D-backs, Mexico City. Mason Miller on the mound with a lead has meant game over this season, and nothing changed today. Miller gets Ketel Marte for the final out. Make that 34 2/3 consecutive innings without a run for Miller, breaking a team record. Padres win at 6-4 now with a full game lead over the Dodgers in the West.
16th win out of their last 19 games with the sure thing of Mason Miller. The back end of many of those wins. Rushing's the batter. And it takes downstairs.
This guy just looks like he wants to hit. I mean, he goes up there. His preparation on the on-deck circle, I think he wants to hit more than anything there is to do in this game, and so far he's done it.
Guy that always has coming up, that's the biggest thing with him, is the bat. Frustrating start to his major league career. Frustrating to begin with just because he wasn't playing a ton. Obviously Will Smith as the starter, but then when he was playing was struggling mightily. Blessing and the curse of being in this organization is great. You get to be with the champion, but the barrier of entry to playing as much as you have your whole life is really high.
Yeah, and they've done a nice job bringing, in the history of the Dodgers, they've always had that rookie. They've always had that guy they bring up and turns into that stud. They've also traded away some of them because they needed to.
3 balls and a strike on Rushing. Pops it foul. For more on rushing, down to Kenny.
Joe, talking to Rushing yesterday, he made an interesting point that when he was at Louisville, he was also stuck behind a prominent catcher. It was Henry Davis, #1 pick in the 2021 draft. Rushing told me that in 2021, I didn't play. I watched baseball. Well, in 2022, his junior year, he got his chance, obviously made the most of it, became the 40th pick of the Los Angeles Dodgers. But that is not something that, or this is not something that is unfamiliar to him as he draws the walk here.
To load the bases and bring up Andy Pages.
Tough spot for Assad because there's not a lot of places a pitcher wants to go when he's not on his game and the game is relatively close, but you know it could be broken open and you got to eat up as many innings as possible as the bullpen gets going for the Cubs.
Just 3 1/3 from Ray today. He was charged with 6 runs. Assad 1 2/3. 2 runs on 6 hits and 2 walks. Dodgers have 18 base runners in 5+ innings. So much for that struggling offense we were talking about coming off of the top. And you look at the top of the order, 5 of the 8 runs have come from the first 3 guys in the lineup, where that kind of production's been missing. Pages scorches a bullet into left center field, another base hit. Tucker jogs home, Hernandez on his heels. Pages into second, a 2-run double, and double digits for the Dodgers. Andy Pages, who had knocked in just 1 run the last 10 games, has driven in 3 of them today.
Tried to go in, left it right down the middle. That's been a theme of tonight's game. A lot of pitches over the middle of the plate, and the hitters are taking healthy cuts and being rewarded for those mistakes.
Still nobody out, and Kim comes up. Well, the Cubs had it right there, down 4, but with the bases loaded, nobody out, couldn't score. And you blink, and the Dodgers have grown the lead. Strike 2 on Kim. Second season out of Korea. Playing for the team that he's always wanted to play for. Shanho Park and the influence he had on Korean baseball. Started his big league career with the Dodgers. Hyunjin Ryu more recently. And then as Haesung was coming up through the KBO, watching the Dodgers have their dominance in the division, winning it all in 2024. Signed a 3-year contract with LA prior to last season. And put on the number 6 of his favorite big leaguer, Trey Turner. Shortstop with speed. 0-6 with these alternates. Bounce it down to first, played by Bush. Throws to the plate, but not in time. Rushing scampers in, makes it 11-4. So 2 in the 3rd, 6 in the 4th, and now 3 here in the 6th.
Well, that's what the Dodgers offense can do to you, and they haven't done it the last 7 games, but you knew they were a moment away from breaking away. They lost a game they typically win last night, and they were going to come in and with the attention, the detail that Dave Roberts was talking about, and 7-run lead.
Ball 1 on Freeland. 2 doubles for him today. A 23-year-old who was born in Louisville, bounced around growing up, Florida, Texas. On this 1-1 pitch, check swing foul, 1-2 on Freeland. Who hit just 190 in his first taste of the big leagues last year, but then won the job, took advantage of the injuries the Dodgers have in the middle infield with Edman and Kike Hernandez. He's played second base most days. Soaking up all he can from this veteran club. Guys like Miguel Rojas and Max Muncy, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman next to him over at first. Swings and misses, 2 gone in the 6th. Arguing his case that I don't know if he was quick pitched there, that he wasn't ready, or if he thought he got a piece of that and hit the ground. Either way, he'll walk away to no avail, and Craig Counsell is going to come out to make a change. Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. Official jerseys, memorabilia, hats, hoodies, plenty more. Go to MLBshop.com, the official source for your favorite team gear. We'll be back in a moment as Ohtani gets ready to hit. Well, Ohtani's the hitter, which is always fun. Vince Velasquez is the pitcher, which is remarkable. His first outing in the big leagues in 3 years. Former top prospect of the Phillies, came up, pitched well for them, had some great moments, but then struggled and had Tommy John surgery, so missed a couple years. Pitched in Korea a little bit to get his career restarted. Comes home to Ohtani with a pitch in the dirt. Kicks up the line. Pages coming in, and they'll score standing up. Dodgers with a dozen.
Ball was in no man's land. Good read by Pages. Probably Dave Roberts would not rather him taking a chance, but it worked out.
Ohtani down to first. Bush has it. Welcome back to the big leagues, Vince Velasquez. But the Dodgers keep on going. 4 more runs in this inning. 12-4 to the 7th.
This girl, show me today's MLB scores.
Welcome back here to Dodger Stadium. It has been all Dodgers in this game. 12-4 they lead. A couple changes for you. Alex Call into the game in left field for Teoscar Hernandez. Change of the plate as well as Nicky Lopez pinch hits for Nico Hoerner. Fouls it back. 0-2 against Will Klein. For Lopez, his first at bat in the major leagues this year. Joined the Cubs midway through last season. Over from the Angels. Handful of games for him. Just 1 for 18 in his first stint with the Cubs. Guy who once hit 300 for the Royals early on in his career. .31-year-old from Naperville, Illinois, Lopez. Chance to play for his hometown team, Chicagoland native. Takes strike 3, a fastball to the outside part. Time to check in with Mike Hilligan for a game break.
Fellas, Reds may be the most pleasant surprise in baseball. Elly De La Cruz, no surprise doing this, though. His 9th of the season, tying up for the NL lead with teammate Sal Stewart, who also homered and has 5 RBI today. Cincinnati rolling over Detroit right now in the 8th. 8-2. Joe and John.
Looking for a 9th out of their last 11, and if this score holds, the Reds would be alone in first in the Central.
Crazy Central. Everybody's playing pretty good baseball.
Yeah, Paul Skeens yesterday almost perfect into the 7th inning. A win against the Brewers. Ball and a strike on Michael Bush.
Yankees are going streaking. They're winning again today.
Looking for their 8th in a row.
After they lost, what, like 6 in a row? Not
yeah, it's been odd. Pitching again, doing it for the Yankees. Their pitching is terrifying and going to get only better as the season goes on. They've given up just 2 runs today and 8 total in what is about to become an 8-game winning streak.
They are going to have to get that offense going a little bit. It has not been the Yankees of the past, but like you said, their pitching's carrying them right now.
Cole just made his second rehab start. He'll be back soon as Bush blinks through this fastball. Back-to-back strikeouts. Above and Beyond, sponsored by Jersey Mike's and Ohio native Aaron Stoikoff, our producer, making sure we get some more on the Cincinnati Reds here. They are unbeaten in 1-run games. In first place in the Central, off to their best start in 2 decades.
Terry Francona, just when you thought.
Right? It's Conforto. Michael Conforto signed with the Cubs towards the end of spring training when Suzuki got hurt. He was with the Dodgers last year. Disappointing year for him. His average was just 199 last year, but in limited duty for the Cubs so far, he's been good. Wasn't on the postseason roster, but became a big part of that run just as a team spirit guy. Former All-Star with the New York Mets. Hits it hard and through. Pinch hit, base hit, Michael Conforto. The Dodgers are trying to get Conforto to do their celebrations. Freddie's saying, what'd you forget?
Pinch hitter number 6, Matt Shaw.
Yeah, the bench unloaded right here. Another pinch hitter, Matt Shaw, there to pinch hit for Ian Happ after Conforto pinch hits for Bregman and Lopez pinch hits for Horner. Shaw, who was a big-time prospect, first base or opening day third baseman last year, really struggled in the first half, got it going in the second half, and has resurfaced here as more of a utility man with Alex Bregman now in the fold. And above 300 so far this year.
Yeah, you wonder what goes through guys' minds when they're like, oh man, we just got Alex Bregman.
Oh, right. He plays my position.
No, yes, no, yes. Got to be ready in this game. You never know.
Shaw still just 24 years of age, out of Worcester, Mass. Made a good catch down there, and either made a good friend or improved a relationship, an existing one, handing the ball off the lady next to him. Shaw in the hands, flies it into center field for Pages. That'll wrap up the top of the 7th inning. And on the 50th anniversary of Rick Monday saving the American flag, 250th of our country, we will stay here for God Bless America.
On the day that Rick Monday saved the American flag from burning 50 years ago today, Dodger Stadium organist Helen Dell took the initiative to play an appropriate song, and she was soon accompanied by the singing of fans throughout the stadium. This time we ask that you please rise if you're able and kindly remove your caps for the singing of God Bless America. Accompanied by Dodger organist Dieter Rule, please welcome back Davis Gaines.
Cascades, and thank you, Rick Monday. Now, fans, it's time for the 7th inning stretch presented by Smart Water. Led by Dodger organist Dieter
Kraftman. The UFL is on Fox. Pro football in the spring, kicking into midseason form. The Houston Gamblers and the Columbus Aviators Friday at 8 Eastern, and then Birmingham and Orlando next Sunday at 4 Eastern on Fox. 12-4, Dodgers in front. Vince Velasquez in his return to the major leagues. Retired Shohei Ohtani, first batter that he faced, and now Freddie Freeman in there with a strike. Velasquez, who struck out 16 batters in his first major league start. It was a decade ago. Resurfacing here with the Chicago Cubs. And ahead of Freddie Freeman, 0-2.
I think he's the guy that got hit. The ball came back to me, threw it left-handed, threw a seed to first base, left-handed.
Freeman sends a fly ball to right center field. Cole Armstrong is there for the first out. For more on Velasquez, down to Kenny.
Joe, April 14th was the 10-year anniversary of Vince Velasquez's 16 strikeout game. He became the third pitcher, only the third, 23 or younger, with 16 strikeouts, no walks in a shutout. The others to do it, Dwight Gooden and Kerry Wood. He never made another start of more than 7 innings. Underwent Tommy John surgery twice, the second on his 31st birthday. Spent 3 days in the majors with the Guardians last season, but never pitched. This is his first major league appearance since May 27th, 2023.
And I love that he's still in there pumping the fastball with conviction. It's low 90s now, was high 90s, and he leaned on it as much as anybody back in those days. That 16 strikeout game, it was like 80% four-seam fastball. Just trust, gumption, and velocity back then. He's still got those first couple qualities. He's got a different looking defense around him. Ahead of Espinal, 1-2.
Yeah, you imagine the work that he had to put in, the mental fatigue. Does he have what it takes? Is his body healed? And that whole journey's worth it for him right now to get back on that mound.
Espinal over third and a base hitting to left. Thinking 2 on his way to second. He'll get there. Espinal off of the bench for Max Muncy earlier today. Yeah, and he's got himself a hit.
Breaking ball down, and he goes down and just gets it on the end of the bat, hooks it down the line.
Hands it off to Tucker. Doubled and scored his last time. Oh! 12 runs on 14 hits. Just what the doc ordered. We were talking with him before the game. Said obviously today the story is Sasaki. That's what most people will be looking at. But what else do you want to see? They say, man, this offense, get him going. Fly to left field from Conforto. And Tucker's out number 2.
Yeah, with those 14 hits, they also got 6 walks. So a lot of traffic on the bases, and they cashed in.
Left field, number 12, Alex Call.
Kyle Hurt is the Dodger reliever getting ready for the top of the 8th inning as Alex Call comes up for his first at-bat today. Everybody that's coming to the game for the Dodgers has gotten a hit. Call in his first trip up there tries to keep that going and takes downstairs, ball 1. Call doesn't play often, but when he does, he's been great.
The catcher is challenging the pitch.
Challenge coming here from Amaya. Call hitting .290. He's got an on base close to .500.
Pitch is a strike.
That's overturned, so strike 1 on Call. He was acquired at the deadline last year by the Dodgers from the Washington Nationals. Look out. It's funny you bring up the left-handed strike that Velasquez threw over to first base. He says he gets asked about that more than he does the 16 strikeout game.
You got to be a pretty good athlete to do that.
You ready?
A couple guys that have taught themselves to throw permanently with the other hand. Eduardo Rodriguez did that. He was a born righty, taught himself how to throw lefty. Stephen Kwan, somebody who did that. Stephen had an older brother who was a good right-handed pitcher, and I guess his dad just always thought to himself, man, he's good, but if he was lefty, I bet he would be great. And so anytime he could, he told little Stephen, no, hold it with the other hand. Do it like that.
You see parents all the time get nervous. Oh, no. He's grabbing it with that arm, that hand.
What is he, weird? 2-2 on call. Down goes full.
Few pitchers have had some issues with the mound and spinning out. Kind of that many pitchers on the mound, you're going to get different landing spots.
Fly ball right field. Seiya Suzuki will put an end to the 7th.
Hello?
This is Kyle Hurt, who had just made it to the major leagues when his arm gave out, had to undergo Tommy John surgery. Has returned this year and pitches in his 4th game here. His first one is to Seiya Suzuki and up high.
Fastball changeup guy, 96-mile-an-hour fastball with a good separation between the two pitches, about 8 to 9 miles an hour.
27-year-old gives up this base hit to center field. 3rd hit of the day for Suzuki, who continues his hot stretch.
Designated hitter number 25, Moises Ballesteros.
And out Ballesteros. Homer and a walk. Series will continue tomorrow. Wrap up tomorrow with a 1 o'clock game. Shota Imanaga goes for the Cubs at 2-1 with a 2.17, and Justin Robleski, one of the big surprises for the Dodgers. He's 3-0, has a 188, top 5 in the league. At 1 o'clock here in LA, 3 o'clock in Chicago. Teams will meet again in August when the Dodgers go to Wrigley. This, by the way, would be the Dodgers' first win in the last 6 games against the Cubs. Ballesteros pokes it to short. Kim is there. Freeland had a long way to go, and they don't get anybody. Trying to get 2 and sacrificed 1.
Yeah, I know your gut and your mind tells you to go to second, but with an 8-run lead, you want to get outs, and the second baseman had to come way over. You see how he had to pause and give him the ball, and then instead of just getting the out at second base, he tried to make a miraculous play and turn to 2. That is not the scope of things the right play.
First and second for Swanson with nobody out. He takes a strike.
Let's see how far he had to come.
Now the Cubs were teetering on getting back into this game last time Swanson was at the plate. That was in the 6th inning. Had bases loaded, nobody out. Down 4 at that point. Jack Dreyer struck out Swanson and Pete Crow Armstrong, though. Will Klein came in to get Miguel Amaya to finish off that inning. They get another chance at 2 here, and this time they turn it.
Much easier turn here. Smooth hands, good delivery.
Number 4, Pete Crow Armstrong.
Continuing to let Pete Crow Armstrong have it. Swings and misses at a changeup from Hurt. And chances are he will probably, for a lot of his career, hear that kind of reception. Oh for 3 today. 3 strikeouts.
And a lot of swings and misses.
It is a 4K day for Crow Armstrong. To the bottom of the 8th we go. An offensive explosion for a Dodger offense, looking for one today. 12 runs on 14 hits. Last of the 8th, Dalton Rushing takes a ball from Vince Velasquez. Rushing has singled, walked, knocked in a run, scored a run. Gives him 15 RBIs in his first 34 at bats this year. 1-1 on Rushing. Vince Velasquez, first game in the major leagues in 3 years. 16 strikeout game. Getting hit by the comebacker, throwing to first base with his left hand. He also had a game where they were out of position players in extra innings. He went out and played left field, had an outfield assist and a diving catch. Team leaders sponsored by Applebee's. Bottom of the Dodger lineup all season has carried the load. Talk about those guys at the top like Ohtani and Kyle Tucker, Teoscar Hernandez not hitting like they normally do. Mookie Betts on the injured list for most of the season. The reason the Dodgers are still about to be 18-9 is what the bottom half of the order has done. By far the best bottom of the order in baseball. Bottom of the order again today was Keys, starting that 6-run 4th inning. Manny Pages, 2 hits, 3 runs knocked in. And he's been the biggest reason the bottom of the order numbers look like that.
It's a fatigue factor. When you're facing the Dodgers, you got to get through the top, and then you're like, I got through the top, and then if the bottom's doing anything, the Dodgers are going to be tough to beat.
Dave Roberts gets questions almost every day about why not move up Andy Pages, and he said, I want him to keep taking advantage of that fatigue factor you're talking about. Pitchers get through all those studs in the top half, and part of Pages' success, the theory is taking advantage of that. On a 1-2 from Velasquez. Pages pops it foul. Into shallow right. And Matt Shaw. 2 out. So it's all play ball. Don't miss Play Ball Weekend coming up June 5th through the 7th. Encouraging youth everywhere to get out and play. You can visit playball.org to register for a free event near you. Dodgers 12, Cubs 4. And Ha-Seong Kim comes up. Two hits, run scored, run knocked in for Kim. Everything else across baseball final. One other game still going. Phillies and Braves tied at 4 in the top of the 9th inning. Phillies trying to end that losing streak. Sits at 10 games.
Pretty amazing for a Phillies team that obviously has a lot of veterans. No way could you have seen that being part of the storyline this year.
Kim's down on strikes. That's a scoreless 8th inning for Velasquez.
Spicy chicken just got better at Wendy's.
Pitch Hit and Run is the free official MLB skills competition for baseball and softball players ages 7 to 14. You can host a local competition in 2026 and give the kids a chance to make it to the national finals at the World Series this year. Go to pitchhitrun.com, or you can scan the QR code, or you could have. Just go to the website. Jake Eder, second game for the Dodgers, just came over to L.A. Pitched 1 game for the White Sox 2 years ago, handful of games for the Angels last year. And now his second game with L.A. Gave up a run in Colorado in his Dodger debut last week.
Oh, fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. Big lefty. Debut here, right? This home stadium.
9-1-2 for the Cubs. Miguel Amaya. Way up there. One of the darkening skies on this Saturday night. Freeland is out. He'll make the catch. 1 gone in the 9th. Player Profile sponsored by Liberty Mutual. Here's the story coming into the game, and Roki Sasaki twirled his best start this year.
He did. He gave up solo homers 3 times, but you know what? He's making progress, and that's what he's going to be able to do. If he keeps getting the ball, he'll keep getting better. And there's the swings and misses, and that is going to be the storyline for him. If he can stay away from that middle of the zone fastball, he's going to be just fine.
And at this point, like Dave Roberts was saying to us before the game, he really is their 6th starter. And as good as everybody else has been, they can afford him to continue to learn on the job at the major league level. Rest of the rotation, after what Emmett Sheehan did last night, now 12-2 with a 2.30 ERA. So not going to do Sasaki a whole lot of good to go back and dominate AAA hitters. 0-2 on Nicky Lopez. And the final line was hanging in the balance when he left the game because there were a couple runners aboard, but the bullpen was able to strand those runners. So 5 innings, 4 runs. And the key there, just 1 walk for Sasaki. He walked about a batter per inning coming in. Teams wrap up this series tomorrow. Then the Miami Marlins come in for a 3-game series on Monday, while the Cubs continue this tough West Coast trip down to San Diego to take on the only team with a better record in the division. Dodgers 3 straight weekends taking a tour of the National League Central. This series with the Cubs. Next weekend they'll be in St. Louis. Or 3 out of 4 weekends, beg your pardon. A couple weeks after that, they'll be in Milwaukee. And we'll see who's it going to be out of the Central this year. I know you like the Reds. Got the Reds in first place right now.
I just think that division was going to be a lot better, just given all the improvements some of those teams made last year. When is the Pirates' year coming when they go for it instead of just stand pat? And a lot of young players now, locked up a few of them. Will Paul Skeens pitch a playoff game for the Pittsburgh Pirates? That might be the best question, that if you had to stake everything you own on it, I don't know where I would land on that.
I want to say yes.
Yeah, I mean, you want to see the best, one of the best pitchers that, that's ever put on a uniform for the Pirates. Get them back to relevancy, and instead of this turnover of draft pick after draft pick after draft pick that goes somewhere else, it's time.
We got a numbers guy back here who's never been wrong. Dr. Krajewski. Will Skeens pitch in a playoff game for the Pirates? A thumbs down. Oh no.
There was no hesitation there.
No, 2 gone here in the 9th. So the Cubs down to their last out. Here's what the standings look like in the Central. The Reds getting another win over the Tigers today, 18-9. There's Skeens Pirates, just 2 games back. Cardinals better than anybody imagined, and the team that seems to wind up on top year after year, the Brewers, are down there in last. Michael Busch sends a fly ball to deep center field. Pages to the track, and that is how this game will come to a close. All Dodgers in this one. They tie the series at a game apiece.
Well, the Dodgers got their offense going. They will get it going a lot this year. They are the team to beat.
12-4 the final. 12 runs on 14 hits for LA. The Cubs get 4 runs on 9 hits. Roki Sasaki gets his 2nd major league win. For John Smoltz, Ken Rosenthal, the rest of our crew here in Los Angeles, Joe Davis saying so long. We'll get you to Mike Hill and the D-Train, Dontra Willis in our LA studios on the other side of this message. Dodgers 12, Cubs 4, rubber match tomorrow here in LA.